Demolition Doofus is the first segment of the 21st episode of Season 8. SpongeBob ends up failing his boating exam once again, and I shit you not, ends up crippling Mrs. Puff entirely for the rest of her life. Mrs. Puff then tackles SpongeBob to the ground, with the entire intent of destroying him, until the doctor steps in and stabs her with a needle in an attempt to calm her down. He also does it with SpongeBob. SpongeBob attempts to get Mrs. Puff out of the hospital to take her out for a daily stroll until something happens to the hospital. The doctor tells them that they will be hosting their annual Demolition Derby. It was at this moment that Mrs. Puff had gained an idea.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
She then wore SpongeBob into participating in this said derby and is forced to fight the following people: the Crusher, Diving Bell Dale, Blowtorch, and the Cackling Cruiser. The derby begins with the Crusher attempting to drive headfirst into SpongeBob's boat, but ends up putting himself in his gaping ass hole of a mouth and crashes straight into a wall. Diving Bell Dale follows suit, but SpongeBob ends up putting mud into his suit and ends up colliding his ship with the Crushers. Blowtorch was the only one to get a decent hit on him and ends up bringing up SpongeBob and his boat up to land level. It eventually comes back down, and one of the tires of SpongeBob's boat ends up mutilating Blowtorch. Adding insult to injury, SpongeBob revs his boat as fast as he can, likely leading Blowtorch with a permanent injury. They all end up coming back for a round 2 and they all fail miserably, and SpongeBob miraculously survives it all and wins the derby. Mrs. Puff, furious at this revelation, had decided to take matters into her own hands, and comes out with this giant green-ass monster truck that looks straight out of a Michael Bay film. Like, this was genuinely batshit insane. She was willing to run over all these innocent people just to get revenge on a yellow sponge, and would later shove said innocent people just to get her objective. Anyway, she devolves into the brink of insanity, damages a couple of shit, and crashes into her own boating school. Mrs. Puff gets her puffiness back, the boating school gets demolished as a result, SpongeBob makes a quick little quip, and the episode ends. I find it hilarious to me how Mrs. Puff doesn't go to jail, not even gets punished for doing any of this, and it's the only episode where she actually should. But regardless of that fact, I really like this episode, and it doesn't deserve all of the vitriol it gets online. It's probably one of the only good ones from this era of the Bob, and while it can be classified as a Mrs. Puff torture episode, or whatever the hell they call it in the SpongeBob fandom, it's still a fascinating episode regardless, and it really goes to show just how easy it is to bring somebody down into the brink of insanity. Also, I had forgotten to mention this during the beginning of the video, but what is SpongeBob doing with a unicycle?
Why are you still alive?
Put it in drive! Thanks, Mrs. Puff, you're the best.